Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a pretty crazy week around here. We just got back from North Dakota on our North Dakota trip, and let's just say it was pretty hectic out there. We had some really good hunts and everything like that, but of course that first day we ran into that landowner. So I'm just going to kind of do an update video today. A lot of people are asking about an update, what's going on behind the scenes, what actually happened, all that stuff. So I'm gonna kind of go into details about everything that went down that day, what's gonna happen going forward, and kind of just explain everything for you guys. Well, we're gonna get right into it. Basically from the beginning, we'll work our way to the end and go from there. So first of all, thanks for everyone for watching the first video. It absolutely blew up. It went absolutely crazy. So thank you for watching that, for subbing, commenting, everything. A lot of different comments, kind of all over the place. People loving us, people hating us, all in between. So I'm going to kind of address some of those as well. Hopefully we can kind of clear things up on our side and what our perspective was of the whole thing. So basically, me and my buddy Bischoff were driving up to North Dakota from southern Minnesota, as well as Dustin's grandpa and his brother. We all drove up 7 hours the day before. Dustin went out scouting that night and found us a little feed. He sent us that feed. There was a absolute load of mallards out in a bean field. He was watching from the south side a few miles off the road, or off the field. So he couldn't see much besides looking through his binos. He went out to the farmer, got permission from the landowner to hunt his land. Super nice guy. He actually ended up inviting us back out to hunt any of his land whenever he wanted to. So any of the rumors that, you know, we got kicked off, all that is totally false. We're welcome back on his land whenever we want. So Dustin, I know, brought him a few cases of beer from all the guys to be able to hunt his land. So normally we like to give back to the farmers, you know, if we can. Obviously we don't have loads of money or cash or anything like that, unfortunately, but we can drop off a few cases of beer, keeps the farmers and the landowners nice and happy. So sometimes they want some birds, and we'll drop some birds off at their house, clean them for them, whatever they want us to do. We're more than happy to give back to those guys for letting us hunt their land. So that morning, we got out about 2 hours before shooting time, and we got set up. We set up down kind of on the field row, right on the line. We had a wind, would be across shooting / coming into us. We weren't really worried about shooting into the corn or anything. We were shooting directly out front of us. All of our decoys were out in the beans. A-frames we set out about a foot off the corn edge, and the whole dispute was that we were on his land. We were not on his land once at all. We stayed in the beans the whole time. Some of our grass that blew off our blind was touching his corn stalks, and that's what he was trying to get pictures of the whole time and saying that we were on his land, so on and so forth. But basically, after we got done setting up in the morning, we were going to drive out of the field, and we came across the other group of hunters. They were setting up on the west edge, and we were all the way on the south edge, and they had their headlamps on. We were going to park over there, actually. So Dustin got out, went up, talked to the other group of hunters that was out there. They said they were going to park back. That's totally cool, whatever. They were super fine, chill with us, no issues whatsoever. We actually ended up parking about a whole nother mile down the field where they parked, so we wouldn't ruin their hunt or have our vehicles in the way and flaring birds for them. So then we got back to the blind, and it was shooting time. We started shooting a few birds, and all of a sudden we see a side-by-side kind of roll up slowly way out in the edge of the field. And he just kind of sat there for a little bit, and then eventually just rolled up on us super quick. At that point, he got pretty close. I turned my GoPro on just because I didn't know what was going on, and that's when it just totally erupted. So as you can see in the first clip, I will put right here.
We're close to the line, boys.
Howdy.
We're close to the line, aren't we?
We're on the bean field.
Huh?
We're in the beans.
Are ya?
Yeah.
Do you know where the section line is?
I'm thinking we're the crop
Put
straight.
over here because you got a stage put off. Oh, this is cute. I was gonna hunt you this morning, but I heard you guys were coming. I own the fucking land. I'm gonna sit here and they're like, shit, the fucking goose.
We talked to Matt.
Good for you. I was gonna hunt here this morning, not there. So you're here, I can't hunt here. So you know what? Fuck you.
What about those guys?
Me and that guy were gonna hunt right here this morning. He's got 2 kids with him, and I was taking kids hunting.
I talked to him already.
Good for you. You didn't talk to me, did you?
We're not on your land.
No, you're not. So I'll just sit here and talk.
And as you can tell, it didn't take him long to admit that we were not on his land. It was pretty quick to the point. Pretty much just said that we're not on his land, but he's gonna stay there anyways and talk to us, aka harass our hunt. So after he rolled up like that, he really didn't give us any sort of chance to talk to him. He never said that he wanted to join us. He basically just said, you're in my way, you're on my land, you're in my hunting spot, you need to leave, everything like that. And if he would have just came up to us nicely, asked me to join in, we definitely would have made something work. We have no issue with that. We've done that in the past many times where multiple people have permission on the same field or one next over, and we just joined together and hunted together and had successful hunts. So instead, he never even came up, gave us the opportunity to do that. At this point, we didn't want to really offer that because why would we? He's just going absolutely crazy at this point. So we kind of just let it roll. We didn't really talk a whole lot. Dustin kind of did. We kept everything to a chill as much as we possibly could, just because we didn't want to be the aggressors in this situation. We hadn't done anything wrong, and we didn't want to make any things worse than they already were. So everybody stayed calm. Anytime someone kind of got out of line on our end, we were just like, all right, hey, let's just let him talk, do his thing. Let's wait till the DNR gets here, and everything like that. So I know a lot of the comments and everything were all over the place, like I was saying, and a lot of them are, why are you hunting the property line? Why can't you hunt in the middle? You had to come in hunting the property line, all that sort of thing. So kind of just a background story. We are in North Dakota. We are in literally the middle of nowhere, North Dakota. Just a bunch of fields all around and some sloughs and lakes and stuff like that the birds sit on. Not many houses, maybe a farm site here and there. But we decided to edge up to the edge as we were sitting in the A-frame with Dustin's grandpa. He cannot sit in a layout, neither can his brother. They're too old, so they need it to sit in an A-frame to shoot. I have no problem sitting in the middle of the field, but the edge is always a little bit better of a hide just because it blends in a little bit better. These ducks are flying 2-3 miles away, coming over our way. So by no means are we actually shooting the animals that are on his land. We're not shooting over his land, anything like that. It's honestly kind of a norm for waterfowl hunting. It's not the same as deer hunting if you're hunting a property line right next to someone where a buck is sitting on the other landowner's land and it's barely crossing your land and you try shooting it. That's wrong in my opinion, but sitting on an edge and shooting ducks that are flying from miles away to come feed in a bean field that weren't even in his cornfield the night before. I'm sure some were, but most were in the bean field that we were actually physically hunting. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So we had permission to be there. We had permission to hunt the ducks, permission to be on the land, everything like that. We did it all right. And that guy just didn't agree with us. So it kind of is what it is. Not everyone is going to always agree with everyone's opinion, and that's fine. Everyone's got their own opinion. But I don't think we were really in the wrong here. Sure, we could have set up in the middle, but at the same time, it would have made no difference. The other group of hunters was actually hunting that whole time Jeff was harassing us. And they shot more ducks than we did. So they were far enough away that they didn't care about us. Obviously, the birds weren't coming in. Jeff was sitting there with a side-by-side running the whole time, screaming at us. Those guys were shooting away in their spreads. So their hunt really didn't get ruined. They shot at least quite a few times, I know. I'm sure you can hear a few shots in the background in the original video. So we're going to get right into some clips. Got a lot of different DMs and everything from a lot of different people as well. And I'll throw in here, And apparently this is a pretty common thing that's happened to a lot of other hunters in the area. They're like, hey, is this so-and-so? And I'm like, yep. He's like, and they're, you know, they had similar situations with this same landowner. So it's definitely a big problem. And I hope in the end we can resolve it for the rest of the hunters out there, and hopefully it never happens to anybody else again. So we're gonna let the DNR and the state's attorney kind of dive into it, let them do their thing. We're not gonna be going out of our way to press charges or anything like that. We're just gonna let them do what they need to do and go from there. So let's keep the clips rolling, and we'll kind of keep going over them.
Where are you from?
Fargo?
Why don't you hunt around Fargo? Why don't you ask the landowner who you're hunting next to? Sneak in on the other side. Fuck you, the birds were here 2 days ago. They went over here last night. I was gonna hunt this today. If I didn't have my grandson here today, I'd run your fucking asses right out of here.
And as you can tell, he just instantly started screaming at us. He even threatened us right there at the end of that clip and said he would have ran us right out of there. What does that mean? I don't know, but it is definitely a direct threat. I don't know if he would have tried to run us out of there with his side-by-side or with his guns or whatever he wanted to do, but either way, definitely a threat towards us. And at that point, we knew that it just wasn't going to be good. So to the next clip we go.
Taxes on this, I'll let you hunt today. Give me a couple $100, $300 and I'll let you fucking hunt today. I'll fucking drive off. You want to be that way? I pay fucking $10,000, $12,000 in taxes and I come to hunt my land. Some guy from fucking Fargo, set up right on the line. I'm on the line, you're touching my cock. Okay, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to my buddy the game.
So right there, it didn't take very long for him to start asking us to pay him money for him to leave. And that I don't believe is legal. I think that is extortion. I don't know the exact definition of that, but I know a lot of people have commented that, and I haven't really looked into it. So could be true, could be false, but either way, it's definitely not right trying to bribe us for our money to hunt a land we have permission on that's not even his. And as you can see right at the end of the clip, it's kind of quiet, but he says, all right, I'm going to call my game warden, or one of my buddies, the game warden. So that was a little interesting as well. I don't know if he's actually buddies with the game warden or not. So he could have an edge on us if he actually is or knows some game wardens or whatever. Who knows? The guy's obviously full of everything. So to the next clip, and let's see what else there is in store.
Game warden, because you were touching it and I called him and asked him. So now we can all get a ticket. If you wouldn't have shot, you wouldn't have got one.
We're not on the line though.
You are touching my fucking corn!
So now he's going off that we're touching his corn. He says later on down the road, a couple pieces of grass are touching his corn. So whatever you want to think of that, some grass is touching his corn. Sure. I don't know if that's illegal or not, but I guess we're gonna find out if some grass touching his corn is illegal. Depending on what happens in the end here. So on to the next clip we go.
No, they're the ones
Answer the
that...
question. I'm not a fucking Democrat, you dumb fucker.
Neither am I. Can I please talk?
Matt said, is this fucking Matt's land?
No, am I?
No, it's not, and you're on it.
And this is where everything starts just getting absolutely out of hand. He just starts going absolutely off on us about the most random stuff, asking for Democrats, which has absolutely nothing to do with this whole matter. None of us are political for that matter. None of us really care, I don't think. I don't know why he got into that, but I'm sure you guys can figure out for yourselves. And it's just a whole bunch of crazy clips going on. Him screaming at us, we're on his land, blah, 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 blah. And then he starts asking us for money multiple times, which I'm going to start rolling those clips right now.
Half the price of your fine, I'll call him off.
Do what?
Half the price of the fine, I'll call him off, and you can hunt here.
That's all right.
Give me $300 and I'll let you hunt here today.
We're not on your land.
You keep saying it and the ticket's going more.
All right, now we finally are actually getting into the asking for money. Bribery, extortion, whatever you want to call it. Definitely ain't legal to be asking for money for him to leave and leave us alone. Basically, he's harassing us, trying to get money out of us to leave us alone. I don't know how it could get any worse than this. So hopefully he's gonna get what's coming to him, and I'm gonna play these videos right now.
You know this is hunter harassment, right?
What?
You know this is hunter harassment?
This is hunter harassment?
Yeah.
Good for you! Bring it to court, motherfucker! They'll take everything you got, asshole!
Now we're gonna get into the clips of where other people have messaged me. I'm just gonna put a few screenshots up. I'm not gonna really explain them. I'll let you just read them for yourselves. Looks like some other people have had some issues with this guy in the past. So it explains that he has definitely done this before, unfortunately, and loves harassing people hunting around his land. Even had some guys say he got permission to hunt his land, and then he came out all super pissed off at him because they weren't doing something exactly the way he wanted to do or something. Just probably a whole miscommunication of sorts, but just unacceptable, you know, regardless. So I'll put those screenshots in now, let you guys read them, and then we're going to get into kind of the DNR situation and everything. DNR a few times. Since then, he asked for my GoPro footage. I sent that over to him, no issue. You know, we don't have anything to hide on our end. We don't think we were in the wrong at all. So, you know, especially legally, there was nothing, you know, against us besides maybe a blade of grass touching his corn stalk that we picked up someplace. So if that's illegal, none of our physical property or ourselves were on his land at any point that morning. So, and I don't think it was really about that, as obviously you can see in the video. He said, at first he literally admitted we weren't on his land, for starters. So, and then it just is just a spiral from there. So I know a couple news agencies have reached out to the DNR as well, and they got some stuff. I was actually reading a news article today that got put up from one of the Grand Forks, I believe, newspapers, and they reached out to the DNR as well and were asking about charges and everything like that. And they are pursuing charges, as far as I know, against both parties. Well, they didn't say both parties specifically, but they're looking to see if there was anything they could charge each party with. So they're going to get all the evidence together, and then they said, you know, in the next week or two, there will probably be some charges filed. So I'm probably not going to have that update by the time this video gets out, but I at least want to go over everything that happened, give an explanation, everything like that from the video. So I talked to the DNR a few times, and, you know, he was super calm with us. He's super chill. I know Jeff has specifically been over to the courthouse multiple times trying to talk to the state's attorney and the DNR and all this stuff. So I don't know if he's just making it, you know, worse over there, if he's going nuts over there, or what he's doing. But, you know, we're just going to leave it alone, leave it how it is, let it rock, and see what happens. So, but basically, as you can see here, there's been lots of other issues with other hunters, other landowners, stuff like that. Kind of another big thing that happened out there as well is we actually ended up hunting out there a couple days later, and some guys set up on the cornfield next to us in Jeff's land. Apparently they're from Wisconsin. They got out the night before, did a little scouting, got permission on Jeff's land. We were hunting another field of the same landowner that butts up against his corn again as well, and they came rolling out in the morning, asked if we had permission, blah blah blah, as they weren't even on the land that they had permission to be on, and all this. And they went up and set up like 200 yards away from us in the cornfield. And end of the day, they left early. We were shooting the birds. And then they actually saw the video that went viral, the one that we posted. And they actually reached out to us, DM'd us, and said, hey man, we're sorry. We didn't realize all the situation that's going on. I saw your video. Jeff told us to come set up here. So basically another form of hunter harassment for the bad part of him asking for money and stuff in the first original video. So he's got a lot coming to him, and I've seen that from a lot of other comments and DMs that it's a pretty common thing with him. So hopefully we can get something resolved so stuff like this doesn't happen in the future with him. Hopefully he stops harassing everyone around his land, and I guess we'll see what happens. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's kind of a little mid update. I'll maybe make another one once we get to that point. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. If you haven't subbed yet, sub down below. Comment what you want, like the video up, share it, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.